Let's go. Djembe technique and stamina. Let me do just a cool intro. Okay, so djembe technique and stamina. So as you know, the djembe is a very physically demanding instrument, and so it's a good practice for us to develop our technique and our stamina. Now, for most for most African players or grandmasters that you see playing, they don't need to focus that much on this kind of practice, specific practice, just because they've been playing since they were very young, and they've been playing every day in all sorts of occasions, and they've been playing intensely with intense rehearsals, intense performances, all of that, constantly, since very young. Now, you and me probably, as Westerners or people from all over the world, we probably start playing later in life. In my case, I started when I was 17, so 14 years ago. And not only we start playing later in life, also we start, which is huge by the way, because everything that you pick up since very young, and that goes for everything, from your personality development, intelligence, everything, it all starts very young. Not only we don't start, we usually very young, we start later. Also, most people, at least in my case, I was fortunate enough to play every day and with rehearsals, but for most people, they don't play every day, or if they do, it's not in an intense fashion, or like rehearsals, performance, and all of that. So that means that we have generally a lot to catch up to do. And so it's a good practice to have in our routine some kind of stamina technique practice training. You could call it a workout almost. It's going to be very helpful to develop our technique, so we can rely more on our technique than just strength, but also develop our stamina, our physical aptitude. I'm not sure if that's a word in English, aptitude. I think so. You get what I mean. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, this concept is basically, the concept is very simple. It's a workout. It's literally a workout for your for your arms and your cardio, your wrist control, everything. And this concept, by the way, was taught to me by Tiago Brandão, which was a long time student of Mamadi Keita. So, Jali Sori, se estás a ver, abraço. And the concept is very simple. You play a specific rhythm, and you play specific techniques within the rhythm, and you start playing it very slowly, at a very slow tempo, and at the end of each round, for example, you have a rhythm that you are playing, and you have, for example, 5 or 6 different techniques. At the end of each round, of each set, and you go back to the start, you raise the tempo up, And you do that basically until muscle failure, or very close to it. And of course, this is not something to do every day. Once a week is great, more than enough. So I'm not going to do that kind of practice right now. Of course, it would be a very long video, but I will just share with you a rhythm, a basic pattern that you can do on a djembe, and also techniques that you can do this, and then I will demonstrate them. And I'm going to break it down just a little bit, but not too much. But again, technology, so play, pause, pause, go back, pause, go back. So the rhythm, let's start with the rhythm. I have a blinky thing. I'm not sure if it's recording, or I hope it's recording. Otherwise, this will, maybe it's memory. Hope not. Okay, let's find out. So let's start with the rhythm. Let's break it down in two parts. First part, 1, 2, 3, and. Second part. Now let's bring those together. So this is the rhythm that we are going to use. Again, you can use any kind of rhythm, any kind of techniques. The main concept here is to do it, start slowly, and then at the end of each round, raise up the tempo until your muscles fail, or maybe not that extreme, like you have to know your own body, but you get my point. Just push it further and further. But this is the technique that I usually use, the rhythm. And now let's go to the techniques. So I will share 6 different techniques, I guess there are 6. And so let's go to the first one. First one, 1, 2, 3, and. That's the first one. Actually, it's longer. It's longer. 1, 2, 3, and. That's number 1. Number 2. 1, 2, 3, and. It's basically the same thing, but in the opposite tempo. Third technique. 1, 2, 3, and. Sorry. Third technique. 1, 2, 3, and. Fourth technique. Fifth. 1, 2, 3, and. Sixth. 6 will be, we will merge the first and the second and the third technique. 1, 2, 3, and. And the 7th final technique, we will merge the second and the 4th technique. 1, 2, 3, and. 3, and. So it's going to be a long video. So these are the techniques. And now what you do, you play the rhythm, and at each time you play it, you do one technique, and then the other, and the other, and so on, and you start slowly. So I'm going to demonstrate just a little bit, and we call it for today. 1, 2, 3. Reach the final, and then now you raise up the tempo. You get the point. So yeah, practice. I hope you got something out of it. It's important for our technique and our stamina to have this kind of practice in your weekly routine, you know, and it will build up a lot of your technique. You'll see a lot of difference. I remember it made a lot of difference for me. I evolved a lot and very quickly just by doing this kind of practice. It really helps it forces you to be in uncomfortable places and to try to rely as best as you can on your technique alone, and your wrists and forearms and all of that, at the same time that you are really building up the muscle fibers and all of that. So make good use of this practice and be well. See you soon.